Thank you very much. And just as the CFO has said, there will be more time, probably after the event, to ask questions. And now we are at the part of the program I personally have been looking forward to, because we have, just as I said, if I'm permitted to say, the Agidigba of Nigerians in this country, the one who, if anything happens to you, you can phone. No, if you're broke, you can phone. But the one that represents our country, and the one who is responsible for all of us to make sure that we are okay in this country at a very high level. So I would like you to please join me in welcome the High Commissioner of Nigeria to South Africa. Please put your hands together for him. Please stand and welcome him, please.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I will start by informing you that the moderator has dressed me in borrowed robes. So let me start by giving you my special greetings from my departing High Commissioner, Ambassador Mohammed Haruna Manta. I am Chargé d'Affaires ad Interim, not High Commissioner. He has also tried to introduce me as such, but I told him that I will not dare to step into his shoes. I will only watch over them until the government makes a substantive nomination into that position. So that is on their side. Please permit me to sit down. Let me also congratulate the young men who are doing great things in technological front. People always say that Nigeria is a very rich country, and I do agree with them. But I remember one thing that Bill Clinton said one day in Abuja, and I was happy. He said, "What you have in your head is more valuable than what you have under the soil." And what these young men have achieved today is eloquent testimony to the validity of that statement. I congratulate you, and I believe you're going to. We have been asked to talk about Nigeria South Africa relations. That's it. We take a lot of it. They will just be good for questions. Give us 20 minutes to take less than half of that time. Too much to talk about. Nigeria and South Africa have come a very, very long way. It is not just about the support Nigeria has given to South Africa during the apartheid era, which unfortunately many South African youths do not know about. When we tell them that you are supported by South Africa during the apartheid, you say, but we don't know, they didn't tell us about school. They will not tell you the schools because your curriculum was designed by somebody else. People write history to suit them. My own history was also distorted. They told me that one Mungo Park, I think it's a Portuguese discovered in my community. Meanwhile, my great-great-great-grandfathers were drinking from this river long before Mungo Park's grandfathers were born. So these histories are not true. Nigeria has been there for South Africa. Nigeria is the only country in the world that gave its own national passports to leaders of the African National Congress during the apartheid era. These guys can travel abroad. So, there will be a discussion arrangement. Yeah, you guys just look for Botswana. There was an instruction there. Go there, they issue Nigerian national passport. ANC leaders were able to travel around the world. As an elementary school student, it was compulsory for us. As you pay your school fees, you pay 1 naira into the African National Congress Liberation Struggle Fund. At that time, 1 naira was equivalent to 1.5 British pounds. Workers' contributions to the ANC fund were deducted as cost. There was no choice. And the money was remitted directly to the patient. And these are just snippets of the contributions. Nigeria led a boycott of the Montreal Games in 1976 because the International Olympic Federation refused to sanction New Zealand, whose rugby team visited South Africa and were romancing with them. Nigeria said, no, there's a UN resolution against apartheid. You must sanction this country. Their team cannot participate in the Olympics. The Olympic Committee refused, and Nigeria boycotted the 1976 Olympics. And every African country joined the boycott. It had consequences, but I will not go into that today. So there are so many things that have bound Nigeria, and South Africa together. At the political front, I was privileged to serve the African Union, and I know how Nigeria and South Africa collaborate. Even till date, they meet. Don't put me behind closed doors before any major political decision is taken at the African level. So there's a high level of cooperation and program between Nigeria and South Africa. We are indeed brothers. So I will not talk too much because there's too much to say. But on the trade level, I would rather ask my brother who has come with the World Bank trade expert, trade consultant. He will tell us just a little bit about trade between Nigeria and South Africa.
Yes, Leslie. Distinguished CEOs, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The MCs, with your permission, Your Excellency, the MCs that started the program said the future of the world is the young ones. And I took my phone and looked at my face, found out I was white already. So I'm not part of the future. And I realized that when I looked to my right, so someone looks like me, he has white. And I looked there, she has white. Okay, so we're all in the same space, right? Your Excellency has asked me to talk about the trade levels or trade relations between Nigeria and South Africa. I will try to be brief. My brain is not a future generation one, so I have to read your permission. Indeed, the Excellency has just also highlighted the relations between Nigeria and South Africa. We did back pre-colonialism, apartheid regime, time. And Nigeria and South Africa are, by virtue of the continent we are in, are brothers and sisters. And we have things in common. They are black and black. True. Nigeria and South Africa also are members of some multinationals, the IMF, the World Bank, the WTO, that's World Trade Organization, the African Union, and of course the AFCFT, which is the main thing now, right? For our members. But of course, South Africa is a member of some confederation that Nigeria is not part of. For example, the BRICS. It used to be BRICS, then became BRICS Plus. That's 11 countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Then came on board Iran, Egypt, Argentina, others. The Saudi Arabia, and I think it's the UAE and Ethiopia, of course. So yes, that's where we are. That's where we are. In terms of the world of trade, you see that between the period of 2002 alone, right? Nigeria was, of course, the top continent in Africa with a GDP of $477 billion, closely followed by Egypt. And of course, our brothers with $405 billion. The trade relations between the two countries again has been low, kind of But again, when you talk about import and export, 7.7 billion rands from South Africa to Nigeria. And also importing 36.9 billion rands in the same year. Our top exports usually is minerals, plastic, vegetables, prepared foodstuff, etc. Your Excellency, let me just tell you one story as well. That Nigeria is engaged in long-term market investors. I mean, if you remember very well, when MTN went to Nigeria, we were one of the first early investors that went to Nigeria in 2001. And when they came, I was one of those that bought the MTN SIM card, and there's a phone called Touchline, Nokia 3310, and I bought it for 40,000 naira. And I 40,000 naira. MTN went to Nigeria with the objective that you make the profit in 5 years. But trust me, we made it in 6 months. And after that, many other blue chips started going to Nigeria because Nigeria became very lucrative. Standard Bank and some other banks. And I'm sure very soon, they're already in Nigeria, but we're going to go through. Right? This fintech. So as of today, we have over 52 multinationals, South Africa owned, in Nigeria, invested over $4.something billion. It's the period of 2003 to 2023. And of course, in the sectors of financial services, software, IT services, communication, hotels, hotels, the Ransom Group hotels, and the rest. Whereas only 11 Nigerian businesses also are in South Africa. The Dangote Cement, the Access Bank, the Jollof Cafe, invested about 72.3 million in the South African economy between the same period. Of course, also in the area of software engineering, jollof rice competition, things like that. So in the areas of cooperation and diplomatic cooperation, we can say, like the essence I just said, that it has been a very good relationship between both countries. For instance, in 1999, the government of South Africa and Nigeria established what we call the BNC. BNC is the Binational Commission, which is the highest decision-making body where two presidents of two nations come together and face and discuss issues around diplomatic, economic, and everything they need to talk about. I don't think about what that structure is about, but come to me personally, I'll tell you. But there's something we say in Africa, in my hometown, I don't know about you guys, that even the teeth and the tongue sometimes clash. I remember when I was talking something, somehow I did my teeth and I said, why are you guys fighting? So Nigeria and South Africa sometimes do have that kind of tension relationship. And one of those is the issues around stringent regulations that prohibit cross-border trade. Those are things that we as government, government through the BNC is trying to address. They said there are issues around skills transfer sometimes, because Nigeria do have a lot of skills. But the problem we have, according to what statistics we have, is for these skills to cross border, to come to South Africa and work and obtain the visas or permits. It's like maybe going to the river, look for the crocodile and say, I want to brush your teeth. And we find it very difficult. So those are the things we also observe. But what's the process for the Nigerian South African business relationship? We said the future is absolutely very bright. We take that and pose the potential for growth and diversification, and efforts to address challenges and enhance cooperation, coupled with the commitments of both nations to regional integration and crucial for fostering a stronger and more resilient economic development or partnership is one key driver that we are all looking for. More importantly, the AFCFTA is here. I'm sure you guys know what the AFCFTA is. It says African Continental Free Trade Agreement of Areas. 1.4 billion people in Africa. How do we trade within ourselves? How do we integrate within ourselves? How do we trade more? Trading, okay, let me give you a very place that will happen recently. If you're traveling from Uganda to Nigeria, for example, it takes you 10 hours because you have to fly to somewhere, instead of 3 hours, 30 minutes. But the AFCFTA, the integration agenda 2060 step is achievable if we work together as a country. But how do we do that? Again, we must leverage on eliminating all trade barriers that exist between us. We must reduce tariff. Most importantly, streamline our policies. This guy, they talk about stringent regulations. The question is, how do we as government ensure that we give them that leverage and makes them successful? We make sure Africa's continent progress the way it should. In terms of specific sectors that promising CEOs here can take advantage of, fintech is one of them, right? But the other ones that are very, it's a trap, like money dragging thing. The oil sector is one, the real estate is one, the health sector is another one, mining is one, and of course, getting married is also another one. Just a joke. But it's also called renewable energy is also one. So we have a lot of potential that we can leverage on. Nigeria has one. South Africa doesn't. South Africa is more industrialized in terms of infrastructure. Nigeria is also very well endowed with all the natural resources to create resources. So come to Nigeria, investment bounds continent. Your Excellency, for me to conclude, I can't say categorically, I can say specifically. The Nigeria-South Africa trade relations represent a beacon of hope for economic development of the African continent. As we forge ahead to Agenda 2063, let us seize this opportunity to build a robust, resilient partnership that only benefits our prospective nations, but also an example to direct the entire continent of Africa. Together, we can create a brighter future for the people of Nigeria and South Africa to contribute to the economic prosperity of the entire continent. And with this is a step in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing those insights on the relations, bilateral relations between South Africa and Nigeria. And I might add that during the golden decade of African diplomacy, that was between 2000 and 2012, South Africa and Nigeria played a critical part in the development of African initiatives, such as the New Partnership for Africa Development, and we had President Olusegun Obasanjo and President Thabo Mbeki being the pioneers of those initiatives. So now I would like to pause a bit. The High Commissioner has to depart. So we'll take a photo break and we'll have the Curnance team together with the CFO and take the first photo opportunity. And then in the second photo op, we'll have the dignitaries from our key stakeholders who are present here today to do the second photo op. Thereafter, we'll proceed to the next stop, which will be a very short one, between 5 and 10 minutes. So we beg for your indulgence and yes.
Who's taking the photo?
So, representatives from Kojima, IDC.
Yeah.
BMW, and Teleconsult. Please come forward. General Cafe as well.
No, I think.